Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is James here from Embark, and today I want to tell you about value creation. So value is the importance or usefulness of something that you provide. You want to try and be valuable in every aspect of your life. Why? Well, because although you might not be looking for it, it normally pays dividends. You will get something in return. If you're valuable to someone, they will be valuable back at some point, or it will come around full circle, whether it not be from that particular person, but someone else. And this isn't karma, this is not what goes around comes around. It's more to do with the credit and debit system by which we work as a society, and that has worked for so many years. When we're talking about value creation, we're going to talk about it in a couple of aspects, but mostly in a sort of capitalist way. So what do I mean by this? This sort of system was never created. It was something that's inherent in our society and has been for thousands and thousands of years. Effectively, when you're providing value to someone in today's society, they'll give you something in return. Normally money. Okay, so money, as we know, is the global way of sharing this value. I provide you value, you give me money, I can then use that money to purchase something of value from someone else, whether that be a service or product. So everyone's just exchanging value, and basically money is just keeping checks on who owes what to who. So when you receive money, you're effectively receiving an IOU for value, and the more value that you can provide people, the more IOUs that you're going to receive. That is why in this society that we live in the capitalist society, that is how people can gain more and more and more wealth. That's basically just because they're getting tons of IOUs from providing value. The more value that they provide, the more IOUs that they're going to receive. You want to be valuable in every aspect of life, whether that be friendships, relationships, business, or anything like that. And providing value is practical. So again, you might see this as karma or getting lucky, but you will receive something if you are giving value to people. And even in a non-monetary capitalist way, if this is value to a relationship or friendship, that will be returned to you in dividends. So how do you provide value? There's a couple of different ways of providing value, so we're going to look at those today. Number one is solving a problem. So as you'd imagine, this is solving a problem that the public has using a product or a service, or this is solving a problem that a friend has, and you're giving them advice, practical advice, in how to solve that problem. Now, these solutions can be highly specific or very, very general. It depends on what the problem is and how you want to approach it. For instance, you could create a product for stationery store owners that use Pinterest, and it collects data around trends from different pens, paper, whatever, and it tracks them via Pinterest. You can track that data, seeing how popular different things are, and then that data can be pushed through to a stationery store who would then know what to purchase, and they would know the trends based on this data. That's just an example of a very specific product that solves a problem. So that's solving the problem of helping sales for a stationery store. A very general, broad example would be the umbrella, for instance. Everyone gets wet, don't want to get wet, umbrella. Alright, so that invention is very general. It's for anyone who's going outside in a wet climate. It's not specific at all, but at the end of the day, it does what it needs to do. It solves a problem. So you can solve a problem that's very specific or very general, but your product or service or whatever it is you're doing has to fix the problem and solve the problem. So in both of those examples, you are solving a problem, and There's a value exchange going on. You receive money for solving their problem. So another way of doing this is filling a desire. Lots of people enjoy going out and having food. So providing good food at a good venue and a good experience to someone is going to be very valuable. So if you feel this desire and do it really well, then people are going to want to come back, and they're also going to be telling their friends and family to come and eat at that restaurant. So not only are you providing value once, but you're going to receive back in return more overall. So the question is, why is filling a desire or solving a problem important? Well, if you do neither of these, you're providing no value whatsoever. And as I said before, everything's a value exchange. So if you provide value, you will receive value in the form of money if you're solving a problem, filling a desire. Therefore, that's what you need to do. Those are your two options right there. There's a few other ways of doing it, but for the most part, it's solving a problem or filling a desire. It's all too frequent that an entrepreneur thinks they have a fantastic idea, they get people involved, they take money and funding to build this idea, push it out, market it, and try and either sell the service or the product, and then they struggle and they can't sell it for whatever reason. But if you look closely, you'll find that it doesn't fill a desire or solve a problem. Therefore, no one wants to exchange any value for it because it provides no value to them. Obviously, one other prerequisite of a good product or service is they've got to have a unique selling point. So sometimes it might solve a problem and fill a desire, but if you haven't got a unique selling point, and if that doesn't come across in your marketing, let's say, people aren't going to actually realize what problem that solves or what desire it fills. But regardless of who's trying to sell the product, whether it's the founder or whether it's a seasoned sales veteran, the problem is the customers are not interested in the product or service. So you start to lower your price because you think it might be a price point issue. You lower the price, you might drum up a bit of interest, but then other competitors lower their price as well. And then you get caught in what's called a race to the bottom. And this means that you're both just you and your competition are lowering prices, trying to outcompete each other. And now this is great for the market overall. Customers do really well in a race to the bottom in a capitalistic society because they're going to, at the end of the day, receive a product very cheap. However, it might not be the best product for them. And this is where making sure you have that unique selling point comes into it, because if you do, then people might be like, well, it's not the cheapest, but I see this clear understanding of what this problem is that it's solving. That is something that I want, so I'm going to part with my hard-earned money and exchange that in order to get this great product. So another way of doing things is creating value for experiences, and this might be a combination of a couple of things. And I'll use Howard Schultz as an example for Starbucks. He decided that, yeah, people can get coffee wherever they want to, local cafes, things like that, or they can get them at home. And they also have places where they can work, for instance, but there might be a niche in the market for a place where people can sit down and relax that's not just either at home or at the office where they're working. There needs to be a middle ground. So where can that be? It's all about the experience and the environment when you go to Starbucks, and that is what created it into this multi-billion-dollar company, because people would want that in-between from working and home. They want that in-between, and they found it with Starbucks. They could get good coffee quickly, comfy seats, cool lighting, nice music, and it was just this overall experience. So value can be created in loads of different ways, but at its very core, for the vast majority of time, it is about filling that desire or solving a problem. And you're probably bored of me saying those two phrases throughout this video, but that's really something that you just have to keep in mind for the whole duration of when you're trying to work through these certain scenarios of why people purchase stuff, why they won't. If you're creating a product or if you're trying to sell a product or a service, just keep that in the forefront of your mind, because that's what will really help you sell effectively. So there you have it, guys. That's value creation. That's not going into depth on absolutely everything, but I think that's a good overview for what you need to know for the basics. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and please comment down below. Let me know, do you already implement this in your entrepreneurial endeavors? Are you selling by solving a problem, filling a desire? Is it something that you're going to look at now at your products and services? Is it something that you're going to start to think about when it comes to being outside and looking at markets and businesses and understanding how that works? Are you going to sort of implement this? Let me know, please drop a comment. Let me know if you think this was a good video. Let me know if you think I could have touched on different parts of it, different subjects a bit deeper. And maybe I'll do a follow-up video going on a bit more depth in the future. So please let me know. I'm James from Embark. See ya.